The AWA assignment requires you analyze an argument, meaning you'll need to evaluate the reasoning of the argument. Identify its conclusion, paraphrase its evidence, and note any assumptions. The process should sound quite familiar. The GMAT essay assignment is in many ways one big critical reasoning question, except it's fill in the blank. On test day, you'll type your essay into a rudimentary word processor. In the program, you may insert and delete text, cut, copy, and paste, undo the previous action, and scroll up and down. There is no spelling or grammar check. You will not be penalized for a couple of minor spelling or grammar errors, but numerous errors could hurt your score. Consider this sample prompt. Notice it's divided into the argument itself and specific instructions. In the beginning, you see a brief sentence providing context for the source. All AWA assignments will look similar to this one, with the same initial instructions. In a moment, we'll review those instructions, discuss how to apply them, and learn more about how your essay will be evaluated. Commanding use of language involves grammar, diction, and syntax. Grammar is the appropriate combination of words to form sentences. Diction describes the appropriateness of your word choices, and syntax means how you construct and vary your sentence structure. You don't have to be a great writer to get a great score on the AWA. You do need to be clear, concise, and correct. You should use standard written English. An occasional grammar error won't hijack your score, but numerous ones show a pattern of carelessness. A high-scoring essay has a logical structure, paragraph unity, a clear train of thought, and delivers as promised. We'll look at Kaplan's essay template shortly. Using this template helps you plan your essay and stay organized. Your score on the AWA will be based on two things: how well you analyze an argument and how clearly you write. Your opinion on the argument's conclusion is irrelevant. Your task is to evaluate the strength of the argument. Now, no one gets into business school solely on the basis of an AWA score, but that doesn't mean the AWA is irrelevant to your success. It can hurt your chances of admission if you don't take it seriously enough. Your score will be based on how well you perform in 4 areas: structure, evidence, depth of logic, and style. You may be wondering, who grades your essay? Your essay will be graded by both a human grader and a computer called Intellimetric on a scale from 0 to 6. If the two scores are identical, that will be your official AWA score. If the scores are 1 point apart, your AWA score will be an average of these scores. If the scores are more than 1 point apart, another human grader will score your essay to resolve the difference. Note that this is something that happens less than 3% of the time. Here you see a detailed chart with a rubric explaining each of these areas in terms of the overall grading structure. The chart indicates what the graders are evaluating. They're looking for clear articulation of the assignment in an organized fashion. Use evidence and reasoning that's relevant, if not compelling, and stylistically abide by the rules of standard written English to articulate your points. However, you don't receive individual scores for each of these components. The graders assess your abilities holistically. This chart covers each score from 1 to 6. Concentrate on what you need to do in order to score a 4, 5, or 6. No sense learning how to score in the inadequate range. If you do all of these things adequately, you'll receive a 4. If you do all of these things very well, you'll receive a 5. If you do all of these things exceptionally well, you'll receive a 6. Let's discuss the primary difference between a 3 and a 4. It comes down to the notion of adequacy. As I stated, if you performed the tasks adequately, you'll receive a 4 or better from the graders. If they deem your performance inadequate, you'll get a 3 or lower. Your goal is to get at least a 4. I want you to score higher, but get at least a 4. Anything less than a 4 is unacceptable. The grader and admissions officers deem anything below a 4 inadequate. It indicates you can't be bothered to learn to write an essay with clearly defined parameters, or you aren't capable of doing so. Neither is good. Don't give the admissions officers any reason for an unflattering opinion. Instead, use the essay as an opportunity to distinguish yourself from your competition.